and welcome to our fourth video on Changing Economic World, our AQA Paper 2 series for Geography. So what we're looking at today, so last lesson it was causes of uneven development. Today it's all about the consequences. We're going to be looking at disparities in wealth and health and international migration. And it's a little video today, so a bit of paper and a couple of pens will do you nicely. So what do I mean by consequence? You really need to look extremely carefully at the question. Make sure you really look at the key words in the question, because causes and consequences are obviously very different. Last time we looked at causes, why uneven development occurs. And this time it's all about the effects and results of uneven development. So what happens because of uneven development? So make sure you've got it really clear in your mind as to which is which. So let's start with disparities in wealth. What does that actually mean? It means differences in wealth, and differences in wealth are the biggest outcome of uneven development. It seems obvious, I know, but the examiner may ask you about this. So the key point is uneven development creates big differences in wealth, and that of course is going to affect quality of life and people's physical well-being. By 2026, wealth concentration has reached historic levels. The world's richest 10% own approximately 75% of global wealth, while the poorest half owns just 2%. Pretty shocking statistics. And it's great to know some of these statistics for your exam. The key point here is vast differences exist between HICs and LICs. There is a huge income gap. As well as disparities in wealth, then we have disparities in health. This development gap directly correlates with life expectancy. That is how long people are going to live and their likelihood of getting disease, prevalence and the rates of disease. People in HICs often live into their 80s, remember, whereas the life expectancy in LICs is often significantly lower. Think about infant mortality rates. In poor countries, roughly 4 out of every 10 deaths occur among children under 15, whereas that is 1 in 100 in HICs. That's down to lack of vaccinations, poor nutrition, and of course, the prevalence of disease as well. Infant mortality rates can be 10 times higher in developing countries. Our final one then is international migration. And this is, again, an obvious consequence of uneven development. It's one of the key drivers of the movement of people across borders. And this really comes down to that push-pull model that you will have learnt about in school. People are pushed by poverty and by conflict and lack of services and pulled to HICs by the draw, by the incentive of higher wages and by wealth and job opportunities, education and healthcare. This undoubtedly leads to a cycle, because that then leads to a brain drain in the countries from which they came. So those LICs are likely to be losing doctors and highly skilled workers, like medical professionals and teachers. But there is a slight gain, because we have something called remittances, and that's the money that does get sent home from migrants back to their place of origin. And that is it for today. We have covered the 3 key consequences of uneven development. I hope that's been helpful. Please now pause the video on the 2 key questions we've got today. Make sure you've done a bit of revision on this, because it does come up quite frequently. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next episode in Changing Economic World really, really soon. Thanks, bye.